I would like to address the situation revolving around Stok and me. Here's an introduction to who I am. I am Nugatory. I am Plague, or I go by many names. But I feel like it's enough amount of time to where I need to really speak about it because I've been so tired of thinking about this entire situation. I need to get this off my chest, and I just have to move on from this shit. Because every single day I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, bro, I'm so tired of thinking about this shit. So, let's get into the bottom of this entire situation. The first mistake I did was send an image that was not at all correct to send. Now, I cannot necessarily discuss what the image was, but what I can say is this. It was wrong for me to send. It was in a GC with Stok and my ex-girlfriend Sav. The image itself was not regular porn. It was not like something casual, because usually I'm the type of person to like joke around, and I'm on that. Back then I would always joke about edgy shit, so I kind of pushed people's boundaries when I was 14. In 2024 of I believe like October to like September, I believe. I think I was 14 to start becoming 15. I'm not too sure how old I was, but it was around when I started becoming 15 when I made that mistake, or 14. But it does not change the fact that it was wrong. It was incorrect of my behalf, and I sincerely apologize for that. The next situation revolving NSFW content could be revolving around the VS4 situation. VS4 was a artist that is in the Shaggy X Matt community, and for him, he would like make art and whatnot. Back then, when I was younger, when I was like 14, I think 14ish, I would send a image of Lightning McQueen porn, word for word. That's what happened. I said, yo, did you draw this? Now, initially, I said this quote-unquote joke because I thought it was funny because the eyes look similar to some of his other art styles, but that was just wrong anyway. It wouldn't merit the context. So, VS4 got really uncomfortable, and I fully understand that. And I would like to say to VS4, if he's watching this, I sincerely apologize. VS4 should have never seen that image. He was uncomfortable, and I know, like, it's been a while, but it doesn't change the fact that that has happened to him. He said he was traumatized, so that is really messed up on my behalf, and I would like to sincerely apologize. My greatest, dearest apologies to him. I hope he can recover from that. Even if he did or didn't, the damage is still there, and I would like to say I'm sorry. The next thing I would like to address is about the relationships I had. Now, these relationships were only 2 years of age gap. They were not 3 years. I want to make that a repeat. 2 years, not 3 years. Now let's get back into the conversation. The fuck? I mean, now to talk about the relationships I've had. There were 2 year age gaps. There were not 3, there were not 4, not 5 year age gaps, none of that at all. If people say that I'm 17 or anything, if people think I'm an adult, that's absolutely incorrect. That's not true. These relationships happened when I was like late 15 and when I was 14. So let's go ahead and talk about it. The first relationship was revolving a girl named Jasmine. Now, there are 2 Jasmines. Unironically speaking, I'm not even lying about this. There were 2 different Jasmines. It was either her name was different, the first girl, or her name was literally just Jasmine. I do not know. But I would like to say that the relationship, it wasn't even like a relationship. It was more so me. It was morally lust fulfilled on both parties, but it was still incorrect. When I was 14, I got really romantic with a 12-year-old when I was 14 years old. And this was really wrong on my behalf, and I consulted to Stok after a while of the sexual activity going on. And no grooming was happening. I wasn't doing that. I don't even have the intention of grooming. I didn't at all whatsoever. But there were sexual things I did have that was not grooming. But also, let's get back to what I was talking about with Stok. When it came to Stok, I talked to him, consulted to him, saying that I felt like it was weird because of the 2 year age gap. I was saying that her being 12 and me being 14, it felt kind of weird. And Stok was like, yeah, it can be pretty weird. And Stok said 2 years of age gap is not that bad. And I was like, okay, thank you. At that time I said that. But Stok was lying to me because he only said that because he was trying to comfort me as a friend. Turns out he recorded the entire thing allegedly. He recorded the entire thing. And he was going to use it against me because I probably pissed him off. Now that Stok part shit, that other stuff is going to go down the line in the other parts of the video. So we're not talking about that part yet. But we got to address the rest of the relationships. The second one I had was with a girl named Jasmine. Now I don't know if the first girl's named Jasmine or not, what the second girl was or not. But I had this. I met her on Roblox when I was 14 and she was 13. So the relationship was fine at first. We broke up, but we started talking again when I just became 15. Now I'll admit this was a severe mistake because of 2 years, 13, 15. Now, not to it. After a while, we added each other back and we got a lot more closer than usual because I was being very nice to her. And we started liking each other a lot and whatnot, but it was not right at all because we started getting very close around the end of November to around December, around New Year's of 2025. And it only got more weirder because we were about to get inside a relationship. Now, with the same belief I still have till now that 2 years was morally wrong, I still got with her. And I was feeling really alone, but that does not justify my actions at all. There's no justification for it. I, at that time, quote-unquote, felt lonely. And I wanted somebody, but she was there. And for that, I was like, well, I could probably just get with her, you know? Like, what's the hurt in that? But then I started realizing how wrong it was. I had Sav still in DMs, right? I was still talking to Sav, my ex-girlfriend. So during this whole entire situation, I was talking to her saying, like, I don't know, this feels weird. Can I just wait until she turns 14? Because I was late 15 while saying this to her when she was 13ish, and then she was going to turn, because she was about to turn 14, right? So I asked Sav, like, would it be alright? And she said, no, that's weird. And I was like, okay. And after a few days, or I think less than that, there was the day where I moved on from her. And I would like to address, yes, I am still in contact with her, but I'm not being sexual, I'm not being romantical, none of that. I'm not at all. We're just friends. And most of the time, we don't even have insane conversations, so it's not like I'm, like, in love with her. Because right now, I'm taken by a girl named Sky. So, Sky is 16, I'm 15, so the relationship's perfectly alright. Now, let's talk about the biggest part of this entire situation. Yes, the rest of the parts were very important, but I feel like this part is very important because it's a more of an understanding to the situation. And I admit I am in the wrong. Stok and me are both in the wrong. Let me explain why Stok's in the wrong. Stok can get very angry very fast. And with this, if you do not listen to him, he will get very angry at you. And he will do anything in any way to try to put you down if you do not listen to him or go by what he says or disagree with him in like some debate or something. But sometimes he may, sometimes he may not. But it really depends on the situation. Now for me, there were many times where Stok blocked me and added me back. I feel like the time whenever I was begging him for a VC build in the end of 2023, when it was becoming 2024 New Year's, he blocked me. Right, he was annoyed at me. I fully understand that because I was being kind of a jackass. I can admit that. But later on, we added each other because the first account that I got banned on for being in a server, just some random ass server, I got banned on it. And after that, on a second account that was banned once more, I added Stok on because he was texting me saying, "Yo, bro, is this you?" And then we decided to be friends fairly easily. But ever since I told him about the situation between the first relationship I had that I discussed in this video earlier, Stok secretly recorded it, even though he told me that like he was acting like a friend, like he was acting like he was a day one, you know? But like he was acting like he was a friend, but he ended up doing this whole betrayal thing. I believe, personally, even if you don't believe it, I think it stems from him being annoyed at me. And what is the explanation for why? Okay, let me explain. The most latest final of the friendship being broken between me and Stok was with a sound design competition, as William was the referee, or basically the guy who says who wins and doesn't win. We were doing a stickman animation to see who could win this entire sound design. And I was just trying some bullshit. I didn't even feel like I wanted to do it, but I felt pressure because of Stok, so I decided to do it anyway, just for the fuck of it. And Stok was doing it too. Stok likes doing sound design, and that's pretty cool. But for me, I'm not really a big fan of it. It's cool, but it's just not my type of thing. Now let's get back into the conversation. Let's get back into the topic. Stok and me put our videos in for votes, and William voted that it was a tie. Stok did not like that at all. He was like, "Nah, you got a rematch. I have to get my points." He was like getting mad because he didn't win, and this was like something new. I've never seen this from Stok before. This was like the biggest like sign of Stok being angry, like a tie. He was mad at a tie, so I was like, I just don't want to do it, right? And yeah, I'll admit the call that I did returning to do the quote-unquote rematch, I was being kind of a dick. I'll admit it, but I was not feeling right. I was just not in the mood for anything. At that moment, I was not in the mood at all. So in this situation, Stok didn't take a liking. I get it, right? Because when I'm not in the mood, I start acting bitchy and whatnot. But I feel like that's what transpired a little bit, mixed in with his rage from earlier. That combined ended up making him block me because I didn't listen to him. And when he decided to bring my ex-girlfriend Sav to try to talk shit to me because of stuff I've done in the past, or even told him goofy ass shit I've done in my life, he would use it against me to try to insult me because I did not accept the deal of doing a rematch with him, because I didn't even want to do the sound design to begin with. After that, the last thing he told me was, "Ha ha ha, you're gonna get killed and doxed, you pedo," and he blocked me. Now I know this is a serious video. What is that? I know this is a serious video, but in all due respect, Stok is a fucking idiot. He knows that the word quote-unquote pedophile means a lot more than just a 14-year-old liking a 12-year-old. 14 liking a 12-year-old. A 2-year age gap. That is not pedophile behavior. That's just weirdo behavior. He fails to identify the difference between pedophilia and grooming, between a 2-year age gap relationship that I had a fallacy on, and I admit it. He does not understand that, but he yet continues to use the same claim over and over. He knows that I'm 15. He knows this, but he still continues to persist on calling me a pedo. And then after that, he doxes me on a status saying, "Haha, Don/nugatory, you got doxed." And the IP is some random ass IP. I researched it. It turns out the IP comes from Germany. So, can you really think that Stok is really a scary guy? Or does he do things just as scary so he can get his way? That's my question. Now, you don't have to believe my side of the story. I get it. But this is just coming from me. So, the most biggest piece of information I like to tell every single one of my audiences, even if like you may not like me anymore, I get it. But the biggest piece of information that I know and have, I know it's not evidence, but based on a call that I had with Stok, we were talking about like the reason why he was doing all of this, besides like thinking that I'm a zoophile and a pedophile, right? The biggest and the most largest reason was because that, but if I have to go through this thing of the whole entire AI situation, it's not fair. I need to bring you on because you're fresh and you're new.
it went along the lines of that, right? I'm not saying that he exactly said that, but it was along the lines of that, okay? So, for me, I was like, that's kind of some bullshit. That doesn't make any sense at all. But I asked him. Actually, matter of fact, I didn't even ask him. It was more so that I think the conversation went on a little bit longer, and Stok was like saying, we were talking about like the editing of the video. I was saying like I think I asked how was the editing going or something about the video, because I was just thinking about my downfall. I was like, shit, I mean, I might as well just give up, because Stok got all of this reign over me, this power. So that's what I thought at the time. But he's kind of he's powerless, motherfucker. He's powerless. But it's back to it. We talked about the evidence, and he said, oh, I'm just tweaking the evidence. I feel like when he said tweaking, he meant editing, right? You know, when you make a video, you have to edit it to make sure it's like perfectly in quality. But the way he said it made me believe that he was editing what I've said through all the videos he has of me calling him, or calling with Sav, or calling with everybody else. Through all of these videos, I believe that he was being sarcastic and trying to let me know directly that he was literally fabricating more evidence. Here's the way that he makes people believe that he's right. He takes existing evidence, which some of it is true, and then after that, he posts it straight up. He says, yo, dude, do not talk to this guy. This guy's a weirdo. You know, right? The most obvious claim that he's been said probably to many people, which I already know about. But the thing he can do that's pretty smart, I'll admit, is that he will add a layer of lies. Like, he will add a layer of lies of fake evidence. He has real evidence and then fake evidence. And quite a some of it is fake fucking evidence. Like, if there's like a voice call or something of me doing something stupid or saying something stupid, which I'll admit, there will be some times where like my brain will have brain fog, and I will say something or even stutter and not know what to say to the question because it's a trap question, or it's not even a trap question. Now, I'll admit it's my bad, because my brain is so fucking stupid. I know I'm stupid, trust me. I can be stupid time to time and whatnot. But with those clips, he'll take it out of context, feel it as his evidence against me, with the main evidence being overpowered with extra fake evidence. Someone can be someone close to me being caught lacking. One clip that I especially know is me saying a 70-year-old Malaysian man in some like fucking country. I was making gay jokes. Stok said, whoa, he said 7-year-old. And I said word for word, no, I said 70-year-old, right? But he wasn't listening to me. He just wanted to like get a good laugh. And I was laughing because I didn't want to be awkward in the situation, take it seriously. And that's probably the biggest example of how we can take evidence and then fabricate it. That's my biggest piece of explanation of how he could do it.
I am nugatory. I am plague. I am grave. I'm all these usernames. I'm all of them. That's pretty much me. And I can't just keep running from it. I have to confront it. And this is the video to really explain all of it. And I have explained what I can. Now, if there's more that comes out and this video becomes outdated and lacks the newest allegations that Stok may be upcoming with, then I'm not sure. I'm not trying to paint Stok as a bad guy. I'm not trying to paint myself as a bad guy. But I'm saying that I have fucked up. Stok is not perfect, but he's much more better than me in a sense of telling me that I fucked up. But he could have done better to tell me these things before it got way worse. The two relationships I had were very wrong. Very incorrect. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I should have never, ever had those relationships. Should have never, ever sent the images. Should have never, ever made anybody uncomfortable. I should have never done any of that. But I am so fucking sorry. I am so sorry. I am so sorry. I'm sorry I'm repeating myself, but I'm just sorry. Sorry will not do enough for the damage that's already been done. I need to realize that, because always saying sorry is not going to solve anything else or anything more. The conclusion of this video is that Stok and me are not perfect, We were both in the wrong, and I admit my wrongs, and I admit what I did was fucked up. And I'm gonna do better from that point on, and I've been doing better. So if you don't believe that I'm gonna do better further on, I understand. You can move on with your life, or you could either, just don't like me. It's okay. I have to accept that, and I have to fully embrace that fact. People are not gonna like me after this video, or even before. But that's fine. That's absolutely okay, and I'm perfectly agree with why they would think that, or even want to go with that belief. It's okay. If my video isn't convincing enough for information, even if there's not image evidence, video evidence, that's okay. That's fine. I'm not gonna victimize myself. I'm not gonna do anything to act like I am the hurt one in the situation. I fucked up, and I'm admitting to it, and I'm going to do better further on. If I keep talking, I'm going on a tangent and just rant. But my meaning is still what I am trying to address. I am sorry. Nothing will excuse my behavior. Nothing will. If my mod gets canceled, that's fine. If people remove me as a friend, that's fine. I'm not saying this to get sympathy or empathy. I'm saying this because of the results of my fuck-ups. If you're not comfortable with me after the situation, that's alright. That's fine. I totally respect people's options and their ideas and their thoughts and their conclusions. Do what you want, but do not fuck up like me. Learn off what I've done and do better. Okay? I've messed up, and that is the final. I messed up, and I'm sorry. This video was very hard to make. Very hard. As this is like the aftermath of the entire situation, like the extra information if y'all needed it. But to really conclude the entire situation, if I have stuttered, it's because I'm nervous, and it's like weird because like the way I talk is weird. Because then I don't know why. It's just weird. I've always had this problem where I have weird communication. It's really weird, and I'm sorry about that. But this video is poorly edited. That's on me, but I just wanted to make this video as raw and as honest as possible. And that's pretty much it. I will make probably visuals later on down the line and whatnot, but I've been feeling a lot more lazier and whatnot, so you may not get a visual as like quality or as good as the other ones. But I'm going on a tangent. I'm sorry, and I'll do better further on, or from the point on when I did mistakes. I am sorry. I'll see y'all guys till next time. I'm not gonna act like there's gonna be a new video anytime soon, but this is the longest video I've ever made. No, what, actually it isn't, but that isn't the plan. I'm sorry, and I need to do better, and I need to keep doing better even if I start doing better. I'll see you guys around. Peace out.